Hi there, this is Becca with Amazing Paper Grace, and I have a tutorial for you today. The tutorial is how to make a punched piece like this from a border punch where all of the corners meet up so that you can actually have a uniform symmetrical piece. It's something that I did in a card earlier this week, and I had quite a few write to say please show us how to do that, so I thought I would show you this before I finish putting my card together. So I have a punch, and I guess the most important thing to note about this punch is it has a single repeating element. That makes it easier. You can try this with tons of other punches and I'm sure it'll work, but this is the easiest thing to start out with. Just experiment around. The first thing I need to do is I need to take a scrap piece of paper and I need to punch once. And I'm just going to step to the end of my table because otherwise I'm going to really wreck the camera. So hang on. Okay, so I punched once. And the reason that I need to do that is because I need to take a measurement. The most important thing to know about your punch is what the measurement is from the base of the motif all the way to the edge. So if I get my ruler and I line the 0 up with the base of the motif, I can see that on this one it is 3/4 of an inch to the edge. So that means that the depth of this punch is 3/4 of an inch. So now I have a piece of paper that I want to cut the frame from. And what I need to do is I need to go ahead and measure. I recommend working in one corner at a time because you don't necessarily know how the repeats are going to work and how much room you need. So that's a good way to start out. I'm going to line up and I'm going to mark this with a pencil the 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to do that on the other axis, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so now I'm ready to punch, and I'm just going to show you where you punch. I'm going to do this long edge first. And remember, I have a line. I hope you can see it. To line it up, you'll put your paper in the punch, and you need to be able to see that line. So the line that I have, I can see on the inside. So I'm going to just go ahead and start this, and then I need to get on my table. Okay, so that's the first punch. And so now, just based on, lining it up with the pictures on the top, I'm going to go ahead and punch my next set. And this punch is so hard. Okay, I have to get to here. There we go. Because of the way I'm standing, I need to have leverage, so I'm moved down to the end of the table. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Now, I only want to have 5 of these motifs, so I'm going to turn this over so that I can see how I would match it up so that only one more element punches. I will turn it over and make sure that it matches through the window. And there we go. So I have all 5. Now I'm going to turn and I'm going to go down this way. And it's the same thing. I'm going to put the punch in, the paper in the punch, so I can see the line, and then I'm going to punch it. Okay, so this is what I have. And so now, just like I did on the other side, I'm going to match it up. And I've always got the pencil facing up. So I'm going to match it up and then I'm going to punch again. Okay, So I have 4 now. Now it's time for me to take and go down this side, but the edge of my paper is too wide. So what I need to do is I need to figure out where the edge of my motif and punch are, which would be right here. You can see it, and I will make a line. And the reason I make a line there is because that's where the base of my motif is. So I'm just going to line this up. I'm using my handy triangle ruler. I'll make another line. Okay, so I know that the depth of my punch is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut so that I'm 3/4 of an inch from this line. So that's 3/4 of an inch. See that at the top. So I'm lining my line up with 3/4 of an inch. And now I've cut it so that past the line I have 3/4 of an inch, which is the depth of my punch. So I'm ready to punch some more. What I'm going to do, just like I have done all along, is line that up so that I can see that line on the inside. Right there. It's the line that extends right here. And I'm going to punch. Okay. So that's what it looks like. This is the side with my pencil. I'm going to line that up again, and I'm going to punch. I'm going to punch over here. Okay. So that gets me 4 motifs down the line. Just like the other side, I only want 5. So I'm going to flip my punch over, and I'm going to make it so that I know I'm only going to punch 1 more and not 2 more. Flip it back over and make sure it matches with the pattern that they have on the top, and then I'm going to punch. Okay, so now I have 5. So the last thing that remains is to do this side. Of course, this is too thick of a width, so I'm going to do the same thing. I know that I want the base of my motif to ride right along a line that goes from there to there. So I'll mark that line, and then I'll cut it. Okay. I am marking out 3/4 of an inch. And actually the line, I didn't really have to make a line, but if there was a line, it would be right there. Okay, so now with the paper cutter, I am going to, let's put that in backwards. I'm going to align my line with the 3/4 inch mark. And then cut. So now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and punch across. So just like before, I'm going to turn my punch over. I'm going to note where the line is, and I'm going to line up that line right on the inside of the punch, and then I'm going to punch. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going to move it down, matching up through the window, and punch again. Okay, so now I can remove the punch, and you can see that I have these 4 corners that keep things attached, but I've gone along each edge. All of my pencil marks are on the back, and so I can take either an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors and just snip on each corner. And that leaves this. And so that's how you would go about making sure that all of your corners fall in the same place. It looks intimidating. I promise you it's not. Just give it a try and practice. So I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial, and I will see you soon.